Welcome to the second installment of the Mining and Energy Investment Conference here in Kimberley, and this conference will primarily focus and reflect on the commitments that were made last year when we saw various dignitaries, investors and various officials came to this conference and made those promises. But we also know that this conference comes shortly after the release of the GDP figures for the first quarter of 2023, and we saw that the economy grew by 0.4% and the mining sector actually contributing 0.9% year on year, which is ultimately good for the mining sector. But when we look at this province as a whole, the Northern Cape, very rich in renewable energy, and it's also forging ahead also with that green hydrogen project that's coming up there in Gwede. And we know that for the 2021 financial year, the mining sector contributing 24.6% to the GDP, which makes it the second largest contributor to the economic coffers of this province. And we also know that it creates a lot of job opportunities for people living in various mining towns in this province. But joining me now is the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Mr. Gwede Mantashe. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Mantashe. When we look at a conference like this, all good and well, but people on the ground, is it beneficial for them?
What is beneficial is investment in mining. Only operational mines benefit people on the ground. If you don't have operational mines, there's no benefit that will accrue to those people, because those mineral deposits will remain in the ground. That's why we're encouraging investors to convert that potential into productive mining. That is why we're here. We are mainly talking to the investors to say, please move quick, invest, build mines, get people participating in the economy.
Also, when we look at this province, it's very rich in renewable energy. We know that the green hydrogen project is coming up there in Gwede. How will this further boost the economic coffers of not only this province, but also of South Africa? And we also know that agreements has been signed between South Africa, Denmark, Germany. Just take us through those agreements, please.
The executive director for transmission of Eskom is here, and you will have a very fruitful discussion with him, because the biggest problem of the Northern Cape is transmission inadequacies. We must build more transmission lines. We must access that. We have 3,200 megawatts that we couldn't put into the grid because there was no grid capacity. So let's talk to that executive director to give you details of the plan to develop transmission capacity in the Northern Cape, and of course the two other coastal provinces, Western and Eastern Cape, because they have a lot of potential. There's no enough capacity for transmission. The green hydrogen in Gwede is going to be a major investment. That's why the Northern Cape has declared a place like Aggeneys as a special economic zone, because it has planning to link it to the Gwede complex. Then it becomes a very active economic complex.
And then from the investors' side, I know that you encouraged them earlier on in your keynote address to even explore into other projects so that they can invest in this province. But how will it be how will other provinces like your Western Cape, like your Eastern Cape, benefit from this? We know that minerals like manganese, iron ore, being transported daily out of this province.
One of the most important things, we must develop capacity to add value to those minerals right here. But you cannot see a situation where you develop anything in the Northern Cape and not benefit the Western Cape. The export point at this point in time is in Saldanha, which is in the Western Cape, so there is a linkage between them. The export point for manganese is in Port Elizabeth, which creates a linkage. But value addition must go through the value chain so that we have a more vibrant economic activity in the value chain.
Thank you so much, Minister, for your time. Thank you so much. Well, that was the Mineral Resources and Energy Minister, Mr. Gwede Mantashe, just taking us through to this second installment of the mining and energy investment taking place here at the Mita Seperepere Convention Centre.